guys, gonna go over some of the basic areas in Sabine Pass and Sabine Lake to fish. This is the NOAA chart 11342. I've had this for quite a while. I don't have the fancy electronics, so I'm just looking at a map and finding areas to try and fish. So let's just start down here at the south end. Obviously down here at the south end we have the jetties. Now with the jetty walls, if you fish outside the boundaries of the jetty walls, you have to have the corresponding license, be it Louisiana or Texas. Now for putting out cut baits for bull reds or sharks, stuff like that, bigger species, I'll usually dip right outside the end of the jetty here and anchor out. Now about halfway up the jetty there is an actual cut to get outside the jetty, but if you're not 100% sure on where that's at, if the tide's too high and you can't see it or anything like that, I would not suggest going through there. This is a rock jetty and can tear off a lower unit pretty quickly. But anywhere anchored up on this side is a good spot for bull reds. If you see birds working, you can get into some speckled trout, stuff like that. Now, in this video, I'm going to mainly cover the Texas or shared waters area. Not really going to focus on the Louisiana side too much. But if you come up here past Texas Point, right here at the Pilot STA station is the furthest point south that you can access by vehicle and get to the water. Now just under the water here, just south and runs north, there is an underwater wall, which is a great spot for flounder and redfish. Speckled trout, you're going to mostly be looking for birds working, stuff like that. Just north of there, you have a good accessible point to a good beachfront that if you guys wanted to do some wade fishing, that is a really good area to hit. And across from there, we have the lighthouse. The boat guys know Lighthouse Cove and that kind of area is really good for flounder, reds, and specks, especially if the birds are working. Now right here we have Texas Bayou, or better known to a lot of the bank guys is Chicken Crossing. Great spot for catching all varieties of species of fish. So good spot right there to be able to access by the bank. Now just north of there we have the Coast Guard station, and then just north of the Coast Guard is Dick Dallin Park. Make sure that you check the hours of operation. It is not accessible 24 hours a day. You then come up here to the boat launch in Sabine Pass, and then this is Goat Island. This is Old River. They actually dredged out a new channel here. They used to have to come through here. But anyway, across from Goat Island, you have the Cheniere LNG plant. They have a really good shell beach right here that tends to hold a lot of 18 to 20 inch black drum, which are really good to eat. But also a really good spot to take the kids in the boat, stuff like that, if you just want to put out shrimp and just catch some fish. Now up here you have Mesquite Point, which is the end of Pleasure Island, and then over here you have the Louisiana side. You have a launch on both sides, and both accessible by land. Right here you have Walter Humphrey State Park, which has a really good pier that's lit up at night, really well known, really good fishing spot. This side over here, there's a lot of good fishing from the bank, but again, Louisiana license once you cross that bridge. Then you come up here, you have the Golden LNG plant. Same scenario as over here at the Cheniere. They have a good shell beach right here. I've had a lot of luck catching speckled trout running in this area. So these are mostly the areas of Sabine Pass that you can use. Like I said, I have a lot of luck catching specks right here. Then if you come up here, you have Keith Lake Cut. Very well-known spot for all assortment of fish that you're going to want to catch. Then for your boat guys, you have Blue Buck Point. This is a very, very well-known spot for speckled trout fishing this area out here in the lake as the water falls down. Also then all the way up your Louisiana coast, you have multiple outlets, Johnson's Bayou, Willow Bayou, then all the way up to Coffee Ground Cove. Especially on a falling tide, you want to hit all of these little outlets for shrimp, stuff like that, being pulled out of the marsh. If you come back over here to Texas, you have Taylor's Bayou, which is over here. And then you have, this is the West Port Arthur Bridge. Right here you have accessible areas to fish underneath the bridge on the north and the south side of the bridge. Boat guys, if you actually ease up into here, this peninsula here is called Texaco Island. You have Valero right here, and you have Motiva out here on the point. But back in here, all of these little fingers that go back in there, I've seen a lot of redfish and speckled trout getting caught there when I'm working down here in this area. So this is a good known spot, hitting all the points, stuff like that. Then you have the bridge to Pleasure Island, which is right here. That not a lot of access to the water in that area. When you're running the road along, you can fish the ship channel on Pleasure Island all the way down. You then have the marina down here, and then North Levee. But right here they do actually have a small wooden fishing pier that you can access. A lot of good fish. They have the break wall right there. You can run a jig, you can put out cut baits, you can do whatever you want right here, and you can catch a lot of flounder and redfish. North Levee, a lot of guys will fish this area for speckled trout. They'll drive up and down it looking for birds working out here in the water, and then park and then throw at them. Also a really good spot to just get out and crab, stuff like that. And obviously anything further south is also going to be a good area to crab. Up here you have Stutes Island and Sydney's Islands. For your boat guys, you don't want to try and access the lake by running straight across. You can get hung up and you might lose a lower unit. Not a great thing. You have 1,000-foot cut in between Sydney's and Stutes Island. Again, same thing as like at the jetty. If you're not 100% sure on where it's at, access the lake by the north or the south end. It's not that much further of a run. Over here in the northeast corner of the lake, you have Coffee Ground Cove. Right here I have found that there is a small ridge, it's not actually marked on here, that if you come out of right here and run straight across, there is a small ridge that runs right here in Coffee Ground Cove. I've had a lot of luck just kind of heading straight out from that ridge and throwing my mirror lures, saltwater spinners, topwater, stuff like that as I come across Coffee Ground Cove. A lot of speckled trout in that area. Right here, this platform, there is a small canal that runs behind it, but you can anchor out right there at the mouth of it. It is actually private property past the points, and also if you go past the points, you need to have a Louisiana license, but you can fish right there by the platform. I've caught quite a few good reds, specks, flounder. This whole area is just a mud bottom, so it's a really good flounder area. And then also up here coming around Shell Island, but again, you'll need a Louisiana license to fish this area. But hopefully this can be kind of helpful to some of you guys that don't know the area very well. But like I said, I'm not giving away any of the secret areas, but if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And don't forget to like the video if you like the information, and good luck.